What's the story, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? And oh my goodness me, what have we just witnessed? Monaghan have beaten Tyrone 217 to 118. A dramatic late goal by Ryan O'Toole. Absolutely extraordinary. A famous win, a famous story for Monaghan GAA. They just do not lie down. They do not die. And everyone who keeps betting against Monaghan needs to have a look at themselves, including me, because they continuously find a way to come back and win. And that is what has happened here today. An extraordinary turnaround. 5 points down at half time, but they turned it around. You could argue Tyrone fluffed their lines a little bit in the second half, but the credit has to go to Monaghan. Absolutely incredible. And the audacity for Ryan O'Toole to go for a goal with that late chance. I mean, if he hadn't missed it, they could have lost the game. If he puts it over the bar, it's level. It's not like they needed that goal, but Ryan O'Toole thought completely different, puts it in the back of the net. Absolutely incredible. A famous win for Monaghan. Let's go! What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to GA Fan TV. And as we were saying, Monaghan 217, Tyrone 118. I have to calm down a little bit. I couldn't believe it when that ball went in the back of the net. I was like, oh my goodness me, jumping around the place. And I am by no means a Monaghan fan, obviously a Dublin fan, even though I do have an El Tipperary jersey on. But yeah, wow, absolutely wow. And plenty of comments coming in there. We'll definitely get to them in due course. But wow. Absolutely wow. I cannot believe Monaghan have actually gone and done that. That is remarkable stuff. And yeah, like it was interesting because the first half, I'll be honest with you, it felt very, very comfortable for Tyrone. It felt like Tyrone were easing to victory. It felt like just another sort of stereotypical regular championship game where, you know, Tyrone are just too strong here, the better side. They look comfortable. Monaghan just didn't. You know, they weren't playing terrible, Monaghan, in the first half, but they were lacking that energy and that fight that we've seen in the second half. And it was very, very comfortable for Tyrone. But in the second half, Monaghan brought the energy. They brought the intensity. Rory Beggan, what a wonderful performance from him in terms of his kickouts. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic in terms of his kickouts in around midfield. Likes of Killian Lavelle, I thought a very good game. Stephen O'Hanlon obviously gets that goal. What a sensational goal that was from him. And Monaghan just turned the screw. They turned the screw. They were pressing up on kickouts. They were winning all the second balls. And everything that was working for Tyrone wasn't in the second half. And it's a strange one, like, because from a Tyrone perspective, I nearly felt like looking at it, it was like they almost felt like the game was done at half time, to be honest with you, because like at the start of the second half, they were just so slow out of blocks. They didn't score in the second half until the 51st minute when Matthew Donnelly had that hand pass over the bar, or hand-fisted effort, I should say. And yeah, you know, just absolutely, you know, incredible that Monaghan just kept fighting, they kept working. And in fairness to Tyrone, you do have to give them a lot of credit as well, because even at the end, when it looked like the game was getting away from them, when Stephen O'Hanlon got that goal, you were starting to think that the screw was turning and Tyrone had no way back, but they kept fighting back themselves. And when Darren McCurry gets that late point, you're thinking, right, Tyrone have done it here. You know, they've come back from the dead, a point down, but then Monaghan go down the other end, and Ryan O'Toole, like, it was a tough one as well. It wasn't like he was 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Like, I think there was a defender to his left-hand side. It kind of ricochets through a couple of bodies before it goes in the back of the net. Like, it was a risky one. And, you know, I think if Ryan O'Toole had missed that, I think a lot of Monaghan fans would have been very, very frustrated and angry. But as it is, he goes for it. And in many ways, that goal probably sums up Monaghan GA, where they just want more, you know, and they don't accept for anything less. And they get that chance and he just absolutely buries it. And even after that, Tyrone were getting a couple of late chances themselves, obviously floating the ball into the square. You were thinking, could Tyrone maybe now get a late goal, and could there be even more late drama? Just absolutely remarkable. And yeah, there's so much to dissect in this game. I have to say as well, like, what a game of football, game of the year so far, in my opinion. That was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And who said the Ulster football is cagey and everything else? I was expecting this game to be cagey. I was expecting this game to be low scoring enough. And in the first half, I think we did get that, but in the second half, it just opened up brilliantly. And you just have to commend Monaghan. Like Conor McManus, 9 points from him. He's still doing it. He is still doing it. And what a performance again from him, turning up. So many crucial late points towards the end of the game. Jack McCarron was brilliant as well. Conor McCarthy really stood up. This has been a guy who's been doing very, very well at club level the last couple of seasons, but he hasn't consistently produced, in my opinion, for Monaghan. Today he did. He was fantastic. Ryan O'Toole 1-1, his championship debut, and what a way to do it. What a way for your first game in the championship to be scoring a winning goal at Healy Park in Tyrone. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. You nearly might as well just retire now, because it just does not get better than that. Like, in terms of bragging rights and everything else. And look, what a performance from him. He's going to go on and have a fantastic career playing for Monaghan, because what a performance. Duffy in a fullback was brilliant. Shane Carey coming off the bench. It was absolutely outstanding from Monaghan. And just the fight and determination that they showed to turn the screw, especially with this being away from home as well. Like that, like a tremendous amount of bottles shown there. Absolutely extraordinary. And like for Tyrone, in fairness, like, I thought a lot of their players played well. Like Dara Canavan was brilliant, 1-5. Darren McCurry, a very, very good game. He obviously sets Dara Canavan up for the first goal. And them two were electric and absolutely brilliant. Matty Donnelly, back in the side, what a performance from him with 3 points. Con Kilpatrick, brilliant around midfield. Conor Moyler, I thought, was very impressive as well. So like like Tyrone did a lot of things right, but they just switched off, I think, at the start of the second half. And like that was the key sort of moment in the game, because Monaghan were 5 points down at halftime, 6 points down at halftime. They score 5 points without reply between the 36th minute. Conor McManus scores a free right at the start of the second half. And then they turned it around from there. I think Tyrone might have actually got a couple of points at the start of the second half, but there was a big gap there, big 15, 16-minute gap without a score for Tyrone. And Monaghan just turned the screw, and the amount of energy they showed was just absolutely, absolutely brilliant. Loads of comments flying in here, so we'll get through them all now. Keane says, what a game. It could have swung either way. Monaghan will put it up to Derry, that's for sure. They certainly will. And look, the way this championship is going is just, it's just absolutely, it's blowing people's predictions completely out of the gate. You know what I mean? Like, I predicted Tyrone to win Ulster, Mayo to win Connacht, and both sides lose their opening championship game. That's why we love Gaelic football. That's why we love the championship. And we want to see shock surprises. Like, I think that's what gets us on the edge of our seat. Obviously, Monaghan or Tyrone fans would be very disappointed, but yeah, what a game of football. Conor McManus, incredible. How do Monaghan keep doing it? Absolutely mad, says Mead, man. Yeah, like, and we just have to, fair play to Monaghan. Like, they keep producing at underage, they keep finding players. Like, whatever they've done for the last 10 years, keeps working. And maybe a criticism or maybe like how much the league has meant to them in the last couple of years has nearly been a detriment to themselves in the championship, where they've come into Ulster a little bit flat-footed. And you see in the first half, and there was a lack of want from Monaghan, but in the second half they completely showed up. Slacking says goal instead of fist over is wild, but those plays win championships. And yeah, and fair play, because like, it is a bit of a pet peeve or a pet hate in some ways when you see players go 1v1 with a goalkeeper and they just put it over the bar. But in that scenario, you could completely understand why he would put it over the bar. And he was a bit out from goal as well. Like, he wasn't dead center in front of the goal. He was a bit to the right. So like it was a tough finish. It was a tough finish, but like the moment he got the ball, he didn't even think about it. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and wow, just brilliant stuff. Gavin says Roscommon were always in control last week, but this game and New York Legion were very tight. Hard to pick the best game of the championship, and it's only week 2. Yeah, you know, like we've, you know, and I said on previous podcasts, previous shows that the general feeling coming into this year's championship is a bit like 2010, where it could be just madness all over the place. And in the opening 2 weeks, we've got it. You know, we've got it. We only had 2 games in the championship this week, and it was looking like it was going to be a quiet enough weekend. But, you know, wow, absolutely incredible. Just what the doctor ordered. Highly entertainment. Wonderful second half. Great win for Monaghan, says Lorraine. Shawnee says that was fantastic. Ulster football at its best. Tyrone gave too much space to Monaghan in build-up to the winning goal. Yeah, like, and yeah, they just, I don't know, they just lost their shape, Tyrone, in the second half. I think they just lost the run of themselves, and they were getting cut open. And I don't know, like, I'll need to see the game back again, because there was just so much happening all over the place. You couldn't take your eyes off it. But yeah, like, it's just, I think from a Tyrone perspective, the worrying thing is, if this was a once-off, you would say, fair enough, you know, you commend Monaghan and you praise them and everything else, which you do. But like for Tyrone, like when they played Roscommon earlier in the league, it was kind of similar. Like Tyrone looked fairly comfortable last 15, 20 minutes. The game just completely fell away from them. And the same has happened here again, although like they played well enough towards the end of the game to win it. Like scoring 118 is enough to win most matches in Gaelic football. And if they play like that consistently throughout the championship, I think they'll be perfectly okay to get out of the group stages. But it is just a bit of a setback. And when you look at it now, you know, Tyrone have won just one game since they won that one championship game since they won that All-Ireland in 2021. You know, that was against Fermanagh. 3 defeats in a row now, if you count the Derry and Armagh defeat. But like, it's definitely not the end of the world for Tyrone. Like, much like Mayo, there'll be a pot 3 side. You'd fully expect them to get out of the group, probably finish second in the group that they're in. And then that should be, you know, home advantage in a preliminary round, and then they'll go on to the quarterfinals. So they should be okay, but at the same time, apologies, folks. Apologies there. I don't know what's going on. My electricity is just completely gone. So absolute disaster. But
But there we go. There we go. I suppose we may as well wrap things up here. But yeah, what a result! What a day for Monaghan. And I think, as I was saying there just before I got cut off, I think from a Tyrone perspective, I think it's yeah, like it'll be disappointed the fact that they lost the game the way they did. But I think at the same time, yeah, what a brilliant performance there from Monaghan. Dubs fan says fabulous last 2 weeks. Cork, Leitrim, Mayo, and Tyrone. And on Far says some game. Congrats to Monaghan. You'd love to kick them on now. McManus is a real baller. Won't be anything in Derry Monaghan either. Yeah, like, and I think a few Derry fans were saying there during the week that that it might even be a difficult enough game from a Derry perspective. Like, they probably nearly fear Monaghan than Tyrone, but yeah, you know, there we go. But yeah, I've no idea what's to happen. My electricity is just completely gone. Everything's just shut off. There you go. Mead won at the hurling against Mayo. Fair play. Great results. But yeah, folks, I tell you what, we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Anyways, apologies for the connection issues. I don't know why this seems to keep happening to me. I don't know what's going on, but there we go. Maybe it's maybe Tyrone fans are not happy and that they're trying to shut me down here. I really don't know, but yeah. Cheers anyway, lads, for coming on, and we'll speak to you all soon.